Furby, we are back again. We found some other replays kindly shared from Mr. Inxile himself, and a short intro because we are not going to cut this race. We are going to go all the way, the whole distance, 10 laps, and this is a big lobby. Inxile, GDR, NZ, don't know which account you're using, mate, it's hard to keep up these days. In pole, Hokashi, Don Fiasco, GT Rebecca, Moto Junior is back, Phone On, and Loopy. I think Loopy was in every race, so that was a quick look at Loops. We're not going to see much of your Loops, sorry, in this one. I think something happens to you and you end up the back, so we will jump on board with Mr. Sweaty Hands himself, Inxile, feeling a little bit of stream pressure, I think, and he has switched up to the Honda after seeing Mr. Phone On get on board the Honda train. So through the death chicane, everybody in a single file, a quick little lift of the accelerator, and then back on it, and everybody getting through. End of lap 1, Akashi on to the inside, and the Audi does have bigger brakes. So Inxile slipping back in. Don Fiasco side by side has a look, slides back in line, and putting a lot of pressure on Inxile. So the steering wheel of Inxile would be getting a little bit damp through those sweaty D-Rick gloves. And GT Rebecca is right behind the Don. So the top 6, it's just a train line, and Phone On. Phone On is up the back, but he is plotting the moves that he will make in about 4 laps. So Don Fiasco up into second as we come hammering through, and Don is not good into the wall. Oh, Don is going to have to do a little bit of work. But we jump on with Moto Junior up on the inside of Inxile. A bit of a gear change slip there. Will the Audi have enough power on the straight? And welcome back to racing, Mr. Moto. We haven't seen Moto around. Mr. Moto Jr. rocking the stealthy black CSTBFO Audi. And working hard, as always. So good to see Moto jumping in on some of these daily races. So Phone On behind Inxile. Pretty sure he's just gone through the KFC drive-through. He's munching on some chicken. And Phone On is not stressed at all. And I've got to say, the Honda NSX sounds absolutely awesome. But it is Hikashi, a lone Japanese warrior out in front. Slight scrape of the wall. And you don't want to do that with GT Rebecca behind. And she has got a good run, and so has Moto. And Moto is going to tuck in behind for the slipstream. And GT Rebecca, we jump on board. Will she send it down on the outside of turn 2? And she gets the move done. Hikashi tucks back in behind. So 4 laps. This is some good racing. Nice and clean. Hikashi having a little bit of a look. But now he is going to have some pressure from Mr. Moto. And Phone On getting the jump on Inxile. So Inxile stream pressures are just absolutely flowing all over his body. And Moto gets a nice run. But he's going to have a tough job on the outside. GT Rebecca holds the middle line. And here comes the Phone On. And we can see Don Fiasco creeping back up to the top 5. And looking like a bit of a penalty there for Hikashi. And that is going to put him back a few spots. And it's going to give Don Fiasco the chance to make up some ground on the 2 Hondas in front. And Inxile is going up on the inside. It gets the move done there. But it's GT Rebecca leading the way. And Moto Jr. trailing behind. And very, very closely as the Audis stick to the road. Will Moto get a move done? And GT Rebecca and Moto starting to spread the field a bit. And here comes Phone On back onto the inside. And Hikashi as well. He didn't lose much in the penalty zone. But he's going to have to deal with the Don. And nicely through there, Inxile. And here comes the Don. He's back in it. Hikashi must have had a few problems in the death chicane. So 6 laps down. And GT Rebecca holding off Moto Jr. And a few glitches there from GT Sport. Seems to be in that spot of the track all the time on the replays. So Phone On up into 3rd. Sweaty Hands Man is coming under more pressure. He's just pushing. I think he's just pushing all these buttons. There's a bit of panic. The right indicator's on. I don't think he's indicating for Don to get around. I just think there's a lot of pressure, panic. The gloves are sweaty. Inxile is just pushing every button on his wheel. And Don is just going to play with Inxile for a little bit. Create more stream pressure. And both nicely through the death chicane. And Don is on the inside. Can he get the move done? Big on the brakes. And indicator still on for Inxile. Getting a little bit close there. Sets himself up. And what a move there from Inxile. He's going to throw it up on the inside. And Don Fiasco can't answer back at this stage. So the sweaty hands might be drying up. But it's GT Rebecca flying along. Moto Jr. in second. And here comes Mr. KFC Man. I think he has put down the three-piece feed and is ready to race. And look at the drive. And nicely backs off. Knows that Moto has the inside. And quickly backs off and gets a better run. And Moto just scraping the wall. Both hard on the brakes. Inside for Phone On. But that Audi, it just has a lot of power back onto the straight. Phone On is gonna have to tuck in. So the pack behind not really bothering GT Rebecca, driving very well. Phone On, just letting Moto know that he is there and coming. Sweaty hands man. Don Fiasco needs to step on the accelerator and make up some ground. As we jump on with Phone On. And gets a lot of drive out of there. Has to back off. Can he get the run out the exit? And an unlucky wall scrape there for GT Rebecca. And Moto has nowhere to go. Gives a little tap. And GT Rebecca may have a penalty. Yes, she does. So 1 second, that's going to drop her back a few spots. Unlucky there. And Don Fiasco holding on. Phone On up on the inside. lap 9. It is time to get the pace going. Fonon's had enough. Coming up to the penalty zone. GT Rebecca pulls to the right. And loses only a couple of spots, so still in front of Inxile. And Fonon is off into the distance. Moto Junior, get it working, buddy, get it working. And here comes Inxile. So a very close race. Some big names in there. Although two of the biggest names, FATFURBY and Team Devils, not in the race, so it can't be that good. Ah, just kidding. And the death chicane takes another victim. It is the Honda Mr. Fonon, absolutely flying, and here is the battle for second and third. GT Rebecca making up ground for the 1 second penalty. Moto Junior, can you do it, buddy? Come on, throw it in there. Can he make it stick? It's gonna be... And Rebecca is in the grass, pushed a little wide. So, last lap craziness is starting to happen. Don't think anybody got a penalty. The GT Rebecca is, even though pushed wide, has come back from the grass into second place, past everybody. But Inxile now, looking for a move. And Don Fiasco coming back as well. But it's looking like Fonon is going to take this one. Can Don Fiasco pull the rabbit out of the hat? Fonon in the distance. Inxile on the inside. Now Moto with a big move. Don Fiasco as well. Fonon takes the win. Moto, Don, Inxile, GT Rebecca. Don must have had a penalty, I'm not sure. But thanks for watching that one. That was a very good race. We've probably got a few more coming. So until then,